Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to, again, call this meeting to order. Today is the regular meeting of the San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees, today being Monday, January 23rd, 2023. Madam Secretary, would you call roll?
Yes, sir. Ms. Becky Luna Chavez? Here. Mr. Overfelt?
Present.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Here.
Mr. Mesa?
Here.
Mr. Galindo?
Present.
Ms. Haynes? Here. And myself. Sir, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Let the record show that we do have a quorum of board members and that this meeting has been duly called and posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, we will have opening ceremonies, first with a moment of silence for personal reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We will follow our agenda tonight. We have a long agenda. First item that we have is recognitions. Dr. Rios, School Board Recognition Month.
Thank you, Mr. Mesa. Board members, on behalf of just the entire district and our community, we'd like to take some time today to recognize just how important your role as community leaders are, especially for the children of our school district. We have a few presentations lined up. We're hoping that some of y'all will go to the center aisle, and we'd like to show a video that Willard and the rest of the team has prepared. So at this time, if it's not too much to ask, if y'all would take a seat in the audience, Mr. Mesa.
Sure.
And now, as you make your way there, I'll turn it over to Sandra Hernandez so that she can lead us through the rest of the presentations.
Thank you. Candy.
Good evening, distinguished members of the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees. Tonight, we celebrate and honor you for your dedication and commitment to the district and our students. The theme of this year's School Board Recognition Month is Forward Together, which highlights the collaboration among board and school leadership, teachers, and parents on behalf of our students. This evening, I'd like to begin with reading the proclamation by Governor Greg Abbott. To catch a glimpse of the Texas of tomorrow, we need only to look into the classrooms of today. The boys and girls presently enrolled in our schools will, in due time, take their reins of the nation and determine the destiny of our people. In their presence, our founders knew that the American democratic experiment could succeed only if our population remained virtuous and educated, and our schools promote the very enlightenment upon which our republic depends. Consequently, the task that befalls our school boards is of the utmost importance. Recognizing that our educational system is foundational to our social order, individual schools and districts are answerable to the people through elected school boards. These boards set a vision for their district based on the students' needs and community's values. They uphold standards of rigor, achievement, discipline, and decency, and they provide a forum in which concerned parents and citizens can involve themselves in the educational process and make their voices heard on pressing issues. Ultimately, meaningful progress must be initiated at the grassroots level, and to this end, school boards ensure that the concerns of parents and citizens alike are addressed. A child's God-given capacity is practically unlimited, and to unlock the fullness of this potential, we must all support the efforts of local school boards in any way we can. We must likewise remain informed about issues facing our school districts, never forgetting that these bodies are accountable to the citizenry. At this time, I encourage all Texans to acknowledge and celebrate the thousands of school board trustees who voluntarily serve the next generation of leaders. From the Panhandle to the Gulf of Mexico, our school board members advocate on behalf of our children, strive to provide them the best possible education, and ensure that their needs and those of their parents remain a central focus. In so doing, they pave the way for a better, brighter future for the Lone Star State. Therefore, I, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas, do hereby proclaim January 2023 to be School Board Recognition Month. Recognizing that your hard work and strong collaborative leadership, our communications team has put together this commemorative video in your honor. At this time, we are glad that you have joined our audience, and would love for you to enjoy this wonderful video.
Our school board members are consistently making decisions that progress our district into the future. This school year alone, the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees have already set measures in place to ensure the safety of our students, enhance the learning experience, and move the district forward. Safety. San Felipe Del Rio CISD has implemented a new badge system that allows staff and law enforcement to easily identify who is present on the campus. We've also partnered with local law enforcement like Del Rio Police Department and Valverde County Sheriff's Office to ensure that every campus is protected every day. Teaching and learning. Over the course of this past year, our teachers have been afforded enhanced planning time to prepare the best instruction for students. The revamped planning time includes time for collaboration on best practices to improve language acquisition for bilingual students, differentiated instruction when needed, and support for all other subpopulations. From small group instruction, the utilization of high-quality instructional materials, and research-based learning platforms, our students are receiving the quality of education required for continued success. The future. Our district continues to grow and take on projects that benefit our students and community. This fall, Ceniza Hills Elementary is scheduled to open its doors for the first time. With many more projects to come, the future is looking brighter than ever with structures meant to help our students excel. Throughout all this, our board makes the difficult decisions and gives our teachers, community, and students what they need to succeed. What we are doing today will benefit us in the future as we move forward together.
At this time, I'm going to ask our school board members to please rise and be recognized. Thank you for everything that you do. As our school board members make their way to the seats, I'm going to begin to ask our campus delegation to begin to step forward. We're going to begin with Irene Cardwell Elementary.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Mesa and Dr. Rios. I am Alana Talamantes, the very proud principal of Irene C. Cardwell Head Start and Pre-K. Today with me, I have our Teacher of the Year, Guadalupe Ortiz, who will introduce our Cubs and send you a message of great gratitude for your service and dedication.
Hello, yes, my name is Guadalupe Ortiz. I am a very proud teacher at Cardwell Head Start. With me is a parent of my classroom, Miss Alejandra Berreles Will, and this is Miss Alejandra Will, a student in my classroom, and Miss Camila Hernandez. And they've come along because they want to also say a couple of words to you. But I'd like to start with that we'd like to express our sincere gratitude for all the things that you do for our students, our parents, and our community. And they would like to say something right now.
Thank you, kiss your brain. Thank you for kissing my brains.
And as we say at Head Start, kiss your brain. Thank you so much.
Buena Vista Elementary.
I'm sorry, Senator, just those students presenting, if your parents allow you, on your way out, there's some cupcakes. Please help yourself. One?
Good evening. It is our great honor to represent Buena Vista Elementary and to be addressing members of the school board tonight. My name is Olivia Hernandez and I'm the student council president of the Mighty Longhorns. Joining me are fellow student council officers
Ariana Briones,
Alexia Castillon,
Alan Villarreal, Chloe Villegas.
We have a poem for you tonight titled The Power of One by Ashish Ram. One song can spark a moment, one whisper can wake the dream, one tree can start a forest, one bird can herald spring, one smile
Begins a friendship, one moment can make one fall in love, one star can guide a ship at sea, one word can frame the goal.
One vote can change a nation, one sunbeam lights a room, one candle wipes out darkness, one laugh will conquer gloom.
One step must start each journey, one word must start each prayer, one hope will raise our spirits, one touch can show you care.
One voice can speak with wisdom, one heart can know what's true, one life can make a difference. You see, it's up to you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, board members, for that one voice, one heart, and one life that makes the difference in our education. and what makes San Felipe Del Rio CISD outstanding? At Buena Vista, we lead, learn, and leave a legacy.
Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary.
Good evening, Dr. Rios, President Mesa, and other board members. My name is Fabian Jurado, Student Council President.
And I'm Chloe Palazuelos, Student Council Vice President.
On behalf of the Lonnie Green Elementary family, we would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees, who work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure our district goes forward together.
Trustees, please know that we are thankful for your dedication, support, and commitment to students, staff, and community during School Board Appreciation Month and every day. We truly appreciate your leadership. Thank you from Dr. Lonnie Green Panthers.
Next, we have Roberto Bobby Barrera Elementary, STEM Magnet School.
Good evening, respected SFDR CISD school board members, Superintendent Dr. Carlos Rios, and all in attendance. We come here today to recognize all your dedication and work to ensure we as students have all the necessary tools for not only a successful school year, but a school life. Thank you for the opportunities that stretch our learning experience. Thank you for propelling us to a great future. Because of your impulse to move forward together, we have guaranteed success. Today, the student council members that joined with us today was me, Liliana Clifford, the president, and
Yasmin Castillo,
historian. Thank you.
Next, please welcome Ruben Chavira Elementary.
Good evening, Dr. Rios, President Mesa, and school board trustees. I am Leroy Meged, here with Larissa Escobar, and we are proud to represent the students and staff from Ruben Chavira Elementary. It is on their behalf that we offer our sincerest gratitude for all that you do to ensure that we, the students of San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District, are receiving the best education possible. You have had to make tough decisions with our safety and continue to place our education at the forefront of everything. That must not have been easy to do, and we appreciate that you always put us first.
It was once said that if we fail to adapt, we fail to move forward, and I am proud to know that you, the school board trustees of SFDR CISD, are constantly adapting, demonstrating your want for this district and all who work and attend its campuses to move forward into our future with ease. Thank you.
Next, we have North Heights Elementary.
Good evening, Dr. Rios and the members of the board. My name is Myla Castillo, Student Council President.
My name is Karen Rodriguez, and I'm the Student Council Vice President.
My name is Mia Acevedo, and I am Student Council Historian.
It takes a great team of amazing, talented people who work well together to make sure we all have what we need. Thank you all for your helping hands and endless energy. Because of you, we are able to move forward together. Each one of you spends your time helping, listening, learning, and encouraging others. This value of your work has no limit and knows no bounds. All of you are there when you are needed the most and appreciated more than anyone knows. North Heights Student Council.
Next, we have the students of Garfield Elementary.
Hi, I'm George Cadena.
Hi, I'm Samantha Carena.
Hi, I'm Romina Gonzalez. Garfield Elementary would like to take this time to say thank you to one of the hardest working groups in the community, SFDR CISD's board members. Thank you for doing everything in your power to better our schools and education. Without you, that would not be possible.
Our next group comes from Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary.
Good evening, Dr. Rios and members of the board. My name is Andrea de Hoyos.
And my name is Miguel Jimenez. We are student council members at DFC. When we were asked to come to Appreciation Night, we tasked ourselves with knowing what it is that you do. We Googled your duties, and here is what we came up with. School board members are everyday citizens doing extraordinary work to lead the community schools. School board members help students thrive during extraordinary times. School board members work for students in their communities.
School board members are the caretakers of public education. Education provides opportunities, a fair chance to get a decent job, to escape poverty, to support families and develop communities. School board members volunteer their time. Yup, they do not get paid. During their most complicated school years in history, we are glad to take a moment to say thank you to our school board members for your remarkable service. Thank you.
We now welcome the students from Lamar Elementary.
On behalf of Lamar Elementary, I, Aubrey Menchaca, Student Council President and
Adamari Rodriguez, Vice President,
would like to take this moment to thank each and every one of you for your dedication and continued support of all students and educational staff at San Felipe Del Rio CISD.
we appreciate your active participation and each campus visit you all have made. Your efforts show us all that our school district moves forward together.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to our secondary campus and our presentations from San Felipe Memorial Middle School.
Good evening, Dr. Rios, President Mr. Mesa, and the members of the board. My name is Xavier Ray Santillanes, proud son of Raymond and Carolina Santillanes, and currently the Student Council President of the San Felipe Memorial Middle School, a title that I hold proudly. On behalf of Ms. Flores, our principal, and Mr. Limon, our vice principal, and our entire San Felipe Memorial Middle School staff and students, we would like to take this time and opportunity to thank you for the many roles that are played out to make us a successful school district. It does not go unnoticed the many responsibilities each and every one of you school board members do, to include values and beliefs for us students, the future leaders of this nation, because that's what forward together means to me. I will continue to pray to God that He'll give you the wisdom and the knowledge to keep us moving forward into the future successfully. Again, forward together. Please accept gifts on our behalf as a thank you. Have a blessed evening.
Next, we have presentation from Del Rio Middle School.
Good evening, Mr. Meza, Dr. Rios, and school board trustees. I'm Michael Cariaga, Del Rio Middle School Student Council President.
And I'm Ava Darden, your Del Rio Middle School Student Council Vice President.
Not a lot of people see the school board as important, but you make our lives easier. I came here today to express my gratitude because of the time and effort it takes to manage a school.
On behalf of the administration, staff, and student body, we would like to thank you for all you have done to help us move forward and find success.
Henry Ford said, "If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself." Thank you.
Next, we have Blended Academy.
Good evening, Dr. Rios, President Mesa, and members of the board. First, a big thank you. The future leaders of Blended Academy want to recognize you for all the hard work you put into our school district. The leadership you show on a daily basis does not go unrecognized, and we appreciate you for your dedication, commitment, and passion. The decisions you have made to benefit our administration, the teachers, and the students have been one of the keys to our success as a school district. As you actively engage in our community, we see your ability to make a change in our school district. Your continued commitment to bringing excellence to our school district is widely recognized. Our organization would like to recognize you again for your commitment and passion to our school district. Because of your leadership, we move forward together. Sincerely, future leaders of Blended Academy.
Next, please join me in welcoming Del Rio Freshman School.
Thank you. Good evening, Dr. Rios, President Mesa, and members of the board. My name is Alfredo Garcia, and I have the honor of being the freshman class president. Tonight, I am joined by freshman historian Kevin Ibarra. On behalf of the entire freshman class, I would like to extend our sincerest appreciation for your unyielding support during our first year at Del Rio and Early College High School. Without your tireless effort and guidance, this school year would not have been such a success. We would like to thank you for providing us with a safe atmosphere and welcoming environment to learn and thrive in. Your positive contributions have not gone unnoticed either. The freshman class has had the privilege of participating in numerous activities both inside and outside of the classrooms. This school year, we have benefited from your dedication and enthusiasm for education, which continues to foster more opportunities for academic and extracurricular advancement. We are proud to be part of such a distinguished educational network. Your commitment and diligence will forever be appreciated by the class of 2026. Once again, on behalf of Del Rio Freshman School, we thank you for everything you do.
We now have our students from Early College High School.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. We are representatives from the ECHS Ambassador Organization. Our names are Grace Caroline Vasquez and Thomas Gambrell. On behalf of the entire student body and staff of Del Rio Early College High School, we would like to say thank you for the tireless work you do for our district.
Each of you will receive a small token of our appreciation for the support and leadership you have shown throughout the year for our campus and the district. On behalf of Early College High School and the Early College High School Ambassador Program, happy School Board Recognition Month.
And now we have our students from Del Rio High School.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Rios. It is a privilege to be here today with some of the leaders from the senior class to thank you for your unfailing commitment to the success of San Felipe Del Rio CISD students. This year's school board appreciation theme is Forward Together, which I believe in 2 words describes what you have achieved in the last 3 years. Starting our freshman year, despite the hardships we've come across, brought upon
most of us. You provided us with the tools and opportunities which empowered us to stay on track in fulfilling our dreams and becoming resilient through adversity. Moving forward during the pandemic is not an easy task unless you have a team of people like yourselves working countless hours, keeping our best interest in mind. With this, you have empowered us to be bold enough to use our voice, brave enough to listen to our heart, and strong enough to seek the life we have always imagined. Thank you for persevering and helping us move forward. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. My name is John Cheney. I am the Student Council and FBLA President. I am the current valedictorian of the senior class. I am pending acceptance to Vanderbilt University and will be majoring in neuroscience. Thank you for helping me move forward by welcoming me to this district as a military student.
My name is Andrea Berain. I am the National Technical Honor Society President, and I will be attending the University of Texas at Austin and will major in biology. Thank you for helping me move forward by providing us with innovative CTE facilities and equipment.
Andrea, before you leave, can I turn it over to Mrs. Webb?
First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's already presented, to the parents, to the teachers, to the principals. I know that it's not easy for you all to be here, especially when it is your birthday today and you should be celebrating with your family like Andrea is, or should be celebrating her birthday today with her family. So thank you. And if there's any other students out there who's celebrating their birthdays today and are here, let us know so that we can recognize you as well. So
Happy
thank you.
birthday.
Thank you.
My name is Kimberly Gloria. I am an ambassador of the Student-to-Student Military Support Group. Thank you for helping me move forward through your support of the athletic program. I have 11 college offers to join their cross-country and track team after graduation.
My name is Ricardo Torres. I am the National Honor Society President, and I will be attending Texas A&M University in College Station and major in mathematics while seeking a teaching certification. Thank you for helping me move forward by supporting the variety of endorsements to help students find their career path. Like myself, in my decision to become a teacher and a coach, to return to my community and serve.
My name is Rebecca Lise Rivera, and I am the Health Occupation Students of America President. I will be attending Texas A&M University in College Station, joining the Corps of Cadets, and majoring in biology. Thank you for helping me move forward by giving me opportunities and qualifications to have been awarded the J100 Air Force Junior ROTC Character and Scholarship, which will pay for my tuition, books, room, and board for the next 4 years.
Awesome.
My name is Jacqueline Ortiz. I am the Queen City Bells captain, and I will be attending Texas State University and majoring in dance. Thank you for helping me move forward with my passion of dance by helping me gain the skills and confidence to try out for the Texas State Strutters.
My name is Melvin Morales. I'm the lead programmer of the robotics team 4063 Tricks Are for Kids. I'll be attending the University of Texas at San Antonio and major in informational technology. Thank you for helping me move forward and making learning fun, challenging, and an inspiring experience.
My name is Nelly Cordova, and I am the FCCLA president. I will be attending Texas A&M University in College Station and will major in mathematics. Thank you for helping me move forward by providing funding to extracurricular programs such as Ready, Set, Teach, which offers skills that provide us with a head start for college and the workforce.
My name is Leon de la Paz. I'm senior class president. I will be attending the University in Encounter Word, majoring in finance. Thank you for helping the senior class move forward by providing was amazing administration and teaching staff to succeed.
To our school board trustees, on one final note, on behalf of our leadership, of our teachers, parents, and staff of San Felipe Del Rio CISD, job well done. Thank you for moving us forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and I'd like to thank each and every board member here. It takes a team, all of us together. Sometimes, we don't have a unanimous vote, but we have the children at heart. That's the first thing that we have, the safety, education, and everything else that comes in between. But what I see before us is all these speakers as future leaders. They will be either coming back to our community or serving elsewhere, but they sure have a goal in mind. We see everything from teachers, administrators, superintendents, attorneys, doctors, even TJ on the radio stations. They have a great voice, but they're all going to be leaders, and that's satisfying to us. To us, at the end of the year, our efforts show by the number of graduates that we have and the places that they'll be going above and beyond. So thank you again on behalf of all the board members here, all of us together as a team, to parents, relatives, everyone involved with their children's education. Thank you again for everything. Okay, next item we have on the agenda is item 5, citizens to be heard. We have none. We don't have a public hearing. Go straight to number 8, reports. First item we have is term 3, attendance and discipline reports. Dr. Rios.
Yeah, Mr. Mesa, members of the board, the report was included in your packet. If y'all have any questions, we recognize that the attendance took a hit during the third 6 weeks. That is common as is every year. Unfortunately, right now, the attendance is already struggling, so we keep working on it. I don't know if y'all have any questions or if you'd like the whole presentation made.
I think all of us have seen the report. I do want to make several comments. There's some schools that are really striving hard to keep up their attendance, and they're doing a great job of it. Some of them that are at the top, I see Ruben Chavira, for example, Lamar, Buena Vista, Lonnie Green. These are all elementaries. And secondary, I see San Felipe Memorial Middle School and some of the others that are keeping up. I always tell you that, especially administration, that it is so important to have the attendance, because as we move forward and plan for different projects, most of our funding comes from ADA, average daily attendance. So it's crucial that they be at school. I know that, I noticed one of the campuses that is still declining is Cardwell, where it used to be 90% before, still struggling in the 80s. So anything that can be done to bring our children in and have better attendance, the better off we'll be in the future years. Anyone with any other question or discipline reports? None? Okay. Thank you very much. Go to item 8B, health insurance update. Aidea Garcia.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. With us tonight is Mr. Greg Coldaway, who will be providing a health insurance update.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Rios and board members. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Every time I come and I see these outstanding students, it gives me a little bit of hope. And so I actually enjoy my time coming to your board meetings, so thank you very much for that. So we've talked several times over the last 18 months about the need to change how we do your health plan and to make some really significant changes in the structure of it, the vendors that we use, and we had 2 goals in making those changes. The first goal is pretty straightforward. We needed to reduce the cost overall. The second goal seems antithetical to the first, but Our second goal was to reduce what your employees actually spend when they need to use their health plan and when they actually go to seek care. And so really this report is a report on the first year that since we've implemented that program. And so we have some results for you that we're very pleased about. So this little graph just shows why we embarked on this in the first place. It was this constant upward trend line of cost with no end in sight and an unsustainable growth in cost. And what you see is from 21 to 22, which is the most recent year that ended in December 31, our costs have in fact started to come down, which just never happens in health insurance. It always goes up. But for you all, your cost actually has reduced. And we'll get into some very specific numbers in a subsequent slide. But as long as our numbers are trending in this direction, I'm very, very pleased. So congratulations to everybody. Just for some of the newer board members, we talked about this a great deal, but this was kind of the elements of what we implemented on January 1st of 2022. One, we eliminated an insurance company altogether. We hired an independent third-party administrator to administer the health plan, process the claims, interact with our network providers, all of the components that an insurance company used to do. We have an independent administrator doing that now. We have better network contracts with the hospitals through a company called Healthcare Highways. We have direct contracts with San Felipe Valverde Regional Hospital. We have a direct contract with Shannon Medical Center in San Angelo. So those direct contracts, as opposed to going through a third party like an insurance company or somebody else to negotiate a contract, that contract is direct between your district and that hospital. And as a result of that, we have far better pricing than we otherwise would have. So that's an important thing. So on those any other provider outside of our network facilities or physicians, we simply pay those providers on a reference-based pricing model, which says if Medicare is going to pay you X, we'll pay you X plus. So it's based on Medicare pricing. And we know that Medicare pricing is probably inadequate, which is why there's an additional amount of money on top of it paid to those providers. But that methodology does save money. It creates some issues occasionally, but it does save money. And so anything that we don't have a contract with, either through our network or our direct contracts, we pay based on that methodology. So the fourth component of this program is, it really doesn't have a name, but what I just call 100% benefit programs. There are certain providers who are part of this movement that you and I are now on, which are kind of cash pay providers. They don't take insurance. They essentially take cash. But their pricing and quality is so superior that they will work with us. We simply pay them their price. And because the pricing and quality is so good, we want your employees to utilize those providers, so we make an incentive to them. We pay those claims at those providers at 100%. There is no cost for your employee, no deductible, no copay, no coinsurance, no out-of-pocket cost whatsoever. So we'll get into exactly what that looks like in just a moment. And then the last component of it is a transparent pharmacy benefit manager. So a pharmacy benefit manager is an organization designed to manage pharmacy claims, right? The big three you're familiar with probably: Optum, which is owned by United Healthcare; CVS Caremark owns Aetna; and Express Scripts is owned by Cigna. Those three control about 85–90% of every prescription that's sold in the United States. They also have business practices that are not aligned with your goals. Their goals are to make money for them in any way possible, and they figured out some very creative ways to do it. Our goals are to get your members and your employees the drugs and the prescriptions they need at the lowest possible cost. To do that, we needed to align ourselves with a pharmacy benefit manager who performs the same functions, but who is transparent in their costs, provides some programs to actually dramatically lower cost of some of the expensive drugs and specialty drugs, and are transparent in pricing. So we have done that for the last year with really amazing results. So that's the major components of what we changed. And these are the actual vendors. So we made this move in 2022. So in 2021, we just had a bundled program with Aetna. Aetna did everything. They were the administrator, they were the PBM, they were the stop-loss contract. It was their network. It was a bundle arrangement with Aetna. And through them over 3 years, we saw our costs constantly going up, which precipitated the move to what we're doing now. And part of that, the value of doing what we're doing now is we kind of blow all these components apart and we pick best things in each category and pull it all together rather than having one. So, for example, our stop-loss carrier is U.S. Fire. It's U.S. Fire because they had the best deal. We shopped that to many stop-loss markets. Our TPA is the Kempton Group. We negotiated originally with 3 or 4 and chose them and are happy with their services. Our network arrangements are varied through Healthcare Highways, our Valverde Regional Contract, Shannon, our RBP, all that stuff. And then Southern Scripts is our pharmacy benefit manager. They're out of Louisiana. 23, we were happy with all of those services and renewed all of those contracts for 2023. So here's the actual financial results, and I track this on a per employee per month basis, because if I just gave you gross dollars, that doesn't take into account that 1 year we averaged about 1,200 employees on the plan, and another year we averaged 1,400. That's not a fair comparison, but if we track it on a per employee per month basis, that accounts for those fluctuations. So just to focus on the change from 2021 to 2022, our total cost on a per employee per month basis was $889 per employee. The result of what we've done and the changes that we've made, we've dropped that by 14% to $764. So 14% reduction in cost is dramatic. Again, you just don't see that in health insurance. You always see up and to the right. So very, very pleased with these financial results for the plan. And in case somebody is thinking, well, perhaps we just had less large claims in 22, without going into any detail on any of these claims, I just wanted to spell that. We actually had more large claims, we had bigger claims, we have some very sick and ill people that your plan is taking care of. And so those financial results are in spite of having more big claims, not having less. So again, very pleased with how this whole thing is working out for you. In terms of plan funding, so you have a health plan, there's 2 sides to it. There's a cost side, which is an expense side, which is what we've been discussing. Then there's a revenue side. The revenue is derived from what the board has approved as a contribution to the employee's health plan, plus what employees contribute for their families and so on. So the 2020, there was a small deficit. 2021, there was a fairly large deficit. 2022, much smaller deficit, but there's a little caveat on that one. As a result of having balances and the ability to do so, the district reduced their funding by about $165,000 a month in July of 22 through December. So cumulatively, that's about $990,000. So those dollars are still in your district. So you haven't spent them, but financially for this, it shows a small deficit for the year, but you're doing quite well. So I said we had two goals going into this. One, to reduce overall cost, which we have done, but two, we're very concerned about members and your employees and their families having access to care that they can afford. And so there's not sure exactly how we track this, and I know that averages, are just that. Some are going to be higher, some are going to be lower, but I was happy with these numbers. On average, your folks satisfied $81 of deductible for the year. That's not very much. Even though we paid a lot of claims and people got a lot of care, on average, they only spent $81 out of their pocket, and we'll talk about why that is. Average total out of pocket, total dollars spent outside of what the plan paid for health care is $426.62. You had 1,655 members who spent less than $250 of their deductible. So that's a lot. 436 of those had literally zero out of pocket. They spent nothing, but on average, those 436 members had $660 of claims paid. So it's not like they just had no medical expenses. They were having medical expenses, but the plan was paying for those at 100%. And then on the pharmacy cost, on average, we had 31,722 prescriptions filled, with total amount of dollars that your members spent was $51,000. So that's an average of $1.61 per prescription. So point of all this is, and we could slice and dice different numbers, but the point of it is we believe that your employees are far better served in terms of what they actually have to spend to access the care that they need. And the way that we're able to do that are primarily through what we're calling 100% benefit programs. The first one, and a really significant one, is administered by our third-party administrator. They call it KPP free, but essentially it is an amalgamation of various providers who charge very attractive cash prices who we have ability to work with. These are surgical centers. The primary one we started out working with was in Austin. We had a lot of claims, folks driving to Austin to get surgeries because we would pay those claims at 100% and the district was saving a lot of money. But that program continues to grow. We've since added a surgical center in San Antonio. So a lot of those same surgeries could be done in San Antonio now. Even some additional procedures. This particular center has a cardiac imaging facility that they can do cardiac caths and things, which we didn't have that before. We did a whole bunch of work through these providers. We had one member, and I just happen to know these details off my head, but went to Oklahoma City for a heart procedure, including travel, including hotels for this member and spouse. We spent about $35,000 for that. If we had had that done in San Antonio, that cost would have been about $85,000. So the district saved $50,000 on that one procedure, and that member got a very expensive heart procedure and did not pay one penny out of their pocket. So that's an example of how this program is working. It extends to durable medical equipment, extends to sleep studies, bariatric surgeries, cataract surgeries. All of these have been covered through this program. 416 different procedures in 2022, which resulted in savings of what we would have otherwise paid through a network provider or, Methodist in San Antonio or whatever, of about $709,000. So significant savings for the district, but 100% savings to the employee because they didn't spend a dime for a single one of those. Second one is our direct agreement with Valverde Regional Medical Center. Any service provided at your local hospital, which includes the specialists that they employ, are covered at 100%. So anytime one of your members goes to your local facility, they're not going to spend any money. And that's a result of being able to negotiate a very favorable contract with the hospital. Same thing, we have direct contract labs, generic drugs under your plan we set at a $0 copay. And the last one is kind of confusing, but we call it variable copay. And what it essentially is there's, if you've seen drugs advertised on television, that's the kind of drugs that are being impacted by this program. And a lot of times you'll see them say, hey, there's a coupon out there, if you actually watch the ads, for $20 or whatever it is. And very, very few people take advantage of those coupons. So what the variable copay program does is, through our pharmacy benefit manager, they go out and they access every dollar that's available under those kind of programs, which ultimately it saves the district money. But when the employee cooperates and lets us do that, we'll reduce their copay for these very expensive drugs to $0, $5, something like that. So that's another way that your members are getting care without spending a lot of money to do it, and the district's saving money as well. So there's $196,000 of documented savings through that program. So these are the 100% benefit programs, and these are how we're getting the results we're getting, both overall cost reductions and reduction in employee costs. So that is the report for the evening. Any questions?
Before I turn it over to board members, I'd like to just say a couple of things. First of all, every year we look forward to, again, providing insurance to all our employees, and it's been difficult over the years. I think this is the most positive report that I've heard in many years, because as board members, we try to provide an increase in pay, and that pay goes towards paying the increase in premiums for insurance.
Right.
So, it kind of evens out. And so whenever we hear of, the changes that were made that are being positive and the impact, it is good news for us, because again, I think the last time that we got a report is 17% of districts that provide 100% of insurance. That's all 17% of all the school districts. So we try to keep up with that, but the changes that have been made so far have been proven to be effective. And so we appreciate every effort that you've done in providing cutting costs for the expense that we made for all our employees. I'll turn it over to anyone that has a question. Anyone else? I thank you again for the updates.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mason. I would say that thank you to the board and Dr. Rios and Ms. Garcia for willing to take a chance on something new. And that's not an easy thing to do always. So appreciate your time tonight.
I know that when we change, insurance carriers, we hear the static, but so far everything has been good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Next item we have is, again, we continue with the reports. Item 8C, Facilities and Construction Update, Israel Carrera.
Good evening, Board President, Mr. Mesa, Superintendent Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Have an update on facilities. We'll be going over the Sanisa Hills Elementary, the Cardwell move to North Heights, and the Del Rio High School roofing replacement. On the Sanisa Hills Elementary campus, the roofing is completed. The exterior installation is ongoing. It's approximately about 95% complete. Block installation is ongoing. Interior framing completed. Interior installation ongoing, approximately 75% complete. Drywall installation ongoing and approximately 65% complete. And then we have the electrical, plumbing, and HVAC continue to progress. On the Del Rio High School roofing replacement, presently they're demoing the roof. And then this week they are going to start hopefully placing the installation of the TPO roofing. The roofing materials are at site right now. They're on the roof, so hopefully they'll get started this week. On the Cardwell move to North Heights, we have quite a bit that's going to be going on here pretty soon. The exterior painting, we have a PO for approval this evening. Additional circuits for sinks, we also have a PO for approval this evening. Addition to, we're adding portable sinks to the classrooms. Sinks have been ordered and scheduled for June delivery. Replacement of toilets, PO is being processed. Lowering restroom sinks, work is scheduled to begin once the school concludes. Interior painting work is scheduled to begin once school year concludes also. Parking lot expansion, work planned to take place during the summer break. Playground park, work planned to begin during the summer break. Enclosed hallway construction, which is the back portion of it, work planned to begin during the summer break. And then new furniture is scheduled for July 17th to July 30th. Is there any questions?
Any questions, board members? Israel, on that enclosed construction hallways, does that mean connecting all the outside buildings?
It'll be the exterior, the back part of it. It will be enclosed in that, and it will be enclosed, and everything will be in under one roof.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Rios.
Just a note on everything that Mr. Carrera reviewed. Starting tomorrow, we're going to meet with a leadership group from Cardwell to review the plan, just to make sure that they're partners in the process and that we didn't miss anything going forward. So we look forward to those meetings with the Cardwell leadership group tomorrow. I think it's composed of the administration and a lot of teachers. So we'll have good communication.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you, sir. Oh,
Yeah.
we go on to the maintenance.
Let me do the maintenance work report. 0 to 15, there was 376 submitted work orders. We closed 280 for 74.5%. For 16 to 30 days, there was 1,116 submitted, 827 closed for 74.1%. 31 to 60, 57 submitted, and 33 completed for 57.9%, and 61 to 90 is at 0. For technology, 0 to 15 days, there were 751 submitted, 656 closed for 87.4%. 16 to 30 days, 1,495 were submitted, 1,393 were completed or closed for 93.2%. 31 to 60 days, 49 were submitted, 12 were closed for 24.5%, and 60 to 90 at 0%. Transportation Department, 0 to 15 days, 172 were submitted, 160 were closed for 93%. 16 to 30 days was 16 submitted, 16 closed for 100%. 31 to 60 days, 17 submitted, 13 closed for 76.5%, and 61 to 90, 7 submitted, 2 closed for 28.6%. Any questions?
Questions? I see the work that is being completed a lot faster with every aspect of whether it's maintenance or technology or transportation. It seems to be on target and
Thank you, sir.
not detained for long periods of time.
Thank you.
Okay, next item we have on our agenda is consent agenda. Again, this time, I'm going to ask board members if we can dispense with reading out the donations. They're lengthy, but we will include them in the website. Again, as always, we are appreciative of individuals and organizations that contribute donations towards the different various programs that we have throughout the district. We take the time to read these out because we think them important, but for the sake of time, we have a long agenda, and so we'll post those if there's no objection from board members. Great. There are a couple of other items on consent agenda. There's a public hearing, minutes from that public hearing, and then some other purchase orders. If there's any question regarding any of those purchases, that either you can ask a question or we can separate that item because one action will approve all items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions to, again, purchases that are made through the consent agenda? Any questions?
No, sir.
We're good? Then, this is great. I'll entertain a motion for adoption of the consent agenda. Motion made by Emilio Galindo, seconded by Mr. Orfeld. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Consent agenda is approved. We go on to item 10, administration. First item we have is item actually 11, curriculum and instruction. Consideration to approve disposal of instructional materials that are no longer applicable for district implementation. Superior Text will provide the services free of charge. Ida Gomez.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Administration was notified by Mr. Turner that we have 15 pallets of instructional materials that are classified as materials no longer in adoption. There's consumable workbooks that are no longer meeting the district compliance, and a lot of sample materials that the district did not adopt. The pallets are consuming some space at the textbook warehouse, and according to TA guidelines, the district may dispose of, donate, or sell these materials. Per the email from TA, instructional materials allotment, if you are donating out of adoption materials, TA approval is not required, and your district should follow local policy. As done probably on 3 or 4 prior occasions, Superior Text will pick up the shrink-wrapped pallets at no cost to the district. And again, this is something that we have done in the past. Are there any questions?
Anyone? No questions. Thank you so much. We'll go on to item 12. I'm sorry, we have to approve this item. It's an action item. I will ask for approval. A motion made by Mrs. Webb, seconded by Ms. Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Item 12, technology and operations. Consideration to take possible action authorizing superintendent of schools to sign an agreement with AEP Incorporated to construct a utility easement and right-of-way on district-owned property. Israel Carrera. Dr. Rios.
I'm sorry, Ms. Gomez. On the previous agenda item, did you read the recommendation or did we just approve it?
Oh.
Can you come back and read it just for the sake of the minutes?
Absolutely.
Being accurate?
Sorry about that. Oops. I think that's the clue.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve Superior Text to collect and dispose of instructional materials that are no longer applicable for district implementation.
Thank you so much. Again, motion made by Mrs. Webb, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in agreement? Okay, this is.
Vote against it.
Motion carries unanimously. Now we go into item 12, technology and operations. Again, consideration to take a possible action authorizing the superintendent of schools to sign an agreement with AEP Texas Incorporated to construct a utility easement and right-of-way on district-owned property. Israel Carrera.
Once again, good evening, Board President Dr. Rios and members of the board. Currently, a utility easement exists along Amistad Boulevard, which runs parallel within the Buena Vista Elementary. AEP Texas Incorporated is in the process of updating easement documents by modernizing the language and defining the right-of-way dimensions with new survey and/or plat.
We visited this item before, Israel, and this is.
It's one that we had at Cardwell before, and it's just the same. It's already there. They're just going to replat it and use modern language.
Okay. Dr. Reyes?
Every so often, AEP is going to redo all of their easements. Last month, we brought Cardwell. This month, we're bringing Buena Vista, and we'll probably have some more in the future.
Okay. And these are already existing ones?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just so we can understand.
Yes, sir.
It's, you know, again, when I hear an easement, you know, 30-foot wide path going through the school, you know, access to AEP for any disruptions in electrical usage and so forth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions from board members? So these will be ongoing for future meetings.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There being the recommendation?
Yes, sir.
No questions?
It is a recommendation that the Board of Trustees approve the superintendent to sign the agreement with AEP Texas Incorporated for the construction of utility easement and right-of-way on district-owned property.
At the recommendation, I will ask, can you see the motion? Motion made by Mr. Overfeld, seconded by Mr. Galindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. Item 12B, consideration to approve a change order with JP Construction Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $306,922.35. Funding source, general funds, for the construction of a community park for the Ceniza Hills Elementary School project. Israel Carrera.
Yes, sir. Once again, board members, the administration requested that a community park be developed by the project architect. The park will consist of a walking trail, baseball practice fields, a basketball court, and 2 dedicated playgrounds. During the school day, the students will have priority usage of the facilities, and after hours and non-school days, the community may utilize the facility. The city of Del Rio has contributed a total of $218,500 towards the construction of the park. And so we're asking the board to approve this change order.
Questions from board members? Yes, Mr. Orfeld.
So as you mentioned, and to clarify all the math, the city's already put $218,000 or something towards this. Is this for our side? Is the change order because our expenses changed and from when we originally said we were going to do this, or just help me understand the $300,000 that we're needing to put in right now as a change order?
Sure. When we did the contract with JP Sanchez, the park was not included in the contract because we knew we were negotiating with the city for them to do part of the funding. Since then, we agreed with the city and they wrote a check to the school district, so that money that the city is contributing is already in our bank account. So then, therefore, we have to do the change order ourselves for the entire amount.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the $306,000, 218 came from the city.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Glad we're doing it. Just next suggestion out there would be I'd like to see something in one of our campuses, and particularly the San Felipe area, to be able to do this, improve Lamar's and open it in the evening for everybody down there, or the 6th grade, one of those, just for the future when we come into the budget process.
Okay. Any other questions? Recommendation?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees to approve the change order with JP Construction Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $306,922.35 for the Ceniza Hills Elementary Park or School project.
Heard the recommendation. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mrs. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We go on to item 12C, consideration to approve the schematic design phase with Amistad Consulting Services Incorporated for the Del Rio High School Access Loop Project. Israel Carrera.
Once again, good evening, Board President Dr. Rios. The schematic design documents that we have will consist of drawings and other documents, including a site plan, access loop plan and profile, drainage channel plan and profile, and cross-section and hydraulic report. I believe those supporting documents are in your book. Also, the schematic design documents, the proposed project timeline is also as follows. You have the schematic design after board approval in January 23rd, the construction documents July 17th, submit for contractor bids would be 8/21, board approval contract bids in 8/21, board approval for value engineering in 8/21, and then project timeline would be board approval in 8/21, and working begins at 9/11, and project hopefully completion by 12/15 of 2023.
Okay, that was a lot.
Questions?
Okay.
Yes. Mr. Orville.
This is all for the loop behind the high school, is what we're talking about? Or-
Yes, yes,
Okay,
sir.
the one that we've seen in the past.
Yes, sir.
Just clear.
Just one clarification.
Yeah.
We're doing all the construction documents.
Right, it's not the actual,
Right,
it's just the documents to see what it would. yeah.
sure. And then when we do begin, right now, the plan is just up through the life skills building.
Mhm.
If there's money available, the board chooses, then we can do the entire project.
Okay, cool.
Anyone else? Everybody's good? Recommendation?
It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the schematic design phase with Amistad Consulting Services Incorporated for the Del Rio High School Access Loop Project.
For the recommendation, a motion for approval. Motion made by Mrs. Webb, seconded by Mr. Orfeld. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
We go on to business and finance, item 13 on your agenda. Item A, consideration to approve a resolution regarding the review of the investment policy CDA local to include independent sources of instruction for the training of investment officers and resolution adopting investment policy and strategy authorized broker/dealer list. Amy Childress.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, the members of the board. Each year, the Board of Trustees shall review the investment policy, CDA local, and investment strategy, and adopt a written resolution stating that it has been reviewed and record any changes made to the policy. Last month, we did bring the changes advised by our investment brokers, Patterson and Associates. The first reading was approved, and then the second reading was approved in the consent agenda this evening. So at this time, I just need, we're asking for approval of the resolution that it has been reviewed.
Anyone have a question? This is pretty much standard procedure from year to year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, recommendation? I
Yes,
think
sir.
there are no questions.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution regarding review of the investment policy, CDA local and broker-dealer list.
With the recommendation, is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 14A, consideration of human resources. Discussion and possible action to approve employee job descriptions and evaluation forms. Idea Garcia.
Yes, good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. In your packet, we have a recommendation to update the bilingual director job description, and we would be changing the requirement from principal or mid-management to preferred. This will give us an opportunity to align to other directors' positions as well as create a bigger pool for this position. Any questions?
Does everyone understand the update?
I'd like for it to be repeated, the update, please.
The what, I'm sorry?
The change.
The changing, what we're changing.
We are changing from the requirement of principal or mid-management certification to preferred. That is the only change that we're requesting at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? We're good? Recommendation, please.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the employee job description and evaluation forms as discussed.
You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Ms. Schorfeld, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 14B, consideration to approve the submittal of application for Impact Aid. Idea Garcia.
Yes, sir. Impact Aid, we bring it to the board for consideration to approve every year, and Impact Aid was designed to assist local school districts that have lost property tax revenue due to presence of tax-exempt federal properties. Any questions on tax-exempt or the Impact Aid? No? Okay.
I do have one. What changes have come about? Because I know that there's been different changes throughout the years.
For this year, we're back to submitting our original counts because last year we had to submit, since COVID, so we were able to submit the data that we had from 2019. So we're back to submitting actual numbers, so it hasn't changed.
So I know you mentioned federal property that is excluded from the tax rolls, but Section 8, is that included?
Yes, sir.
It is? Okay.
Yes. You're talking about all the housing, right? The apartments. Yes, sir.
Okay. Are we okay? Anyone else with the question? Okay, recommendation?
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve and submit the grant application under the Impact Aid Section 703 and for the superintendent to sign.
You've heard the recommendation. Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Ms. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 14C, consideration to update the designation of local government records management officer. Idea Garcia.
Yes, sir. In compliance with policy CPC Legal Office Management Records, the board shall designate an individual to be classified as the records management officer. And tonight we would like to submit the application to the state and local records management and designating Sandra Hernandez as our record management officer.
Any questions? Okay. Recommendation.
Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the update of the designation of local government records management officer and for the superintendent to sign and submit to the Texas State Library and Archives Commission.
You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Ms. Haynes, seconded by Ms. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, the time is 7:25 p.m. We're going to go into closed session permitted by section 551.074 and 551.071. Any action during closed session, there will be no action in closed session. If an action is required, it will be taken upon reconvening into open session. We're now in closed session. Thank you. Okay, the time is 10:28 p.m. We're now going to reconvene in open session. No action was taken in executive. We're down to item 18, consideration to approve the personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, resignations. Idea Garcia.
Good evening again, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resignations, vacancies, and Marlene Chavez, art teacher for Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary.
Is there a motion? Again, this is for one of the positions. Is there a motion? Motion made by Ms. Orfeld, seconded by Ms. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. We're going to be, you have some other positions of it? Yes. Yep. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mention each.
Well, that was the only one that we had for personnel,
Okay,
and then we
and-
have the others.
Okay, we're going to table item B and item C, and we're going to item D, consideration to approve the position of registered nurse at Garfield Elementary. Idea Garcia.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Mrs. Cassandra Martinez as registered nurse for Garfield Elementary.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Becky Chavez, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Next item E, consideration to approve the position of assistant principal at Del Rio Middle School. Idea Garcia.
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Mr. Stephen Thomas as assistant principal for Del Rio Middle School.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Mr. Orfeld, seconded by Ms. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item F, consideration to approve the position of coordinator child nutrition for the food service department. Idea Garcia.
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Mr. Paul Andrade as the child coordinator child nutrition for Raymond Haynes Administration Complex.
Heard the recommendation. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Next item we have is item G, consideration to approve the position of head football coach, athletics coordinator for the athletic department. Idea Garcia.
It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Mr. Fiacro H. Ramirez Jr. for head football coach athletics coordinator for Del Rio High School.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Ms. Gonzalez. Is there a second to the motion? Mr. Galindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
In the matter of level 3 grievances, Ms. Sherry Galindo, Mrs. C. Cardenas, and Ms. Monica Fernandez. Is there a motion?
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Orfeld.
This time I motion in the level 3 grievances of Escalindo C. Cardenas and M. Fernandez, and in accordance with DGBA local, at the board table the item until the next regular scheduled board meeting to give members time to read items provided in closed session during the level 3 hearing today.
Is there a second to that motion? Mr. Galindo so does. All those in favor? 6 affirmative. Any abstentions? 1 abstention. Motion carries. We are going to table that till the next board meeting. There being no other items on the agenda, is there a motion for adjournment? So moved by Mr. Oldfield, seconded by Mr. Olindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you and good night, everyone.